All right, welcome. This is the Dev Platform Update covering what's happened in the past week. I feel like this ship has been sailing very heavily toward the North Star of getting Sandbox testing done and prepping for the hackathon. So it looks like there's a little bit less bullet points here. There's a lot of effort going on behind the scenes, and I'll have a couple of pages that we'll share and briefly go over. So Sandbox testing. We have a bunch of test examples now for the runner.js, and I will show these. This is for updating state, patch state, link drop, and fungible token, which is amazing. And actually, does someone want to chime in and go over this a little bit? Chad or Willem?
Yeah, I could say a few words. Update state is kind of the most basic demonstration of runner.js capabilities, and then patch state is specifically using the Sandbox specific patch state functionality. Link drop is, Willem was working on a link drop contract, and Willem, you might want to say more about this, but it's copying it's using the same link drop contract that's in Testnet, and duplicating that functionality in a sandbox test, and also showing off that you can easily call a contract specifying the access key to use. So that's kind of something we might want to put in the name there. And then the fungible token is doing a lot of cross-contract stuff, which is maybe something else we should add to the name, because we do link to this repository from the README as sort of like a go see what you can do with it kind of thing. So for people who want to dig in deeper, this is currently their way to do, like a way to find out more. And then the other thing that I'll add is that fungible token. Thank you very much, Austin, for adding that. There's definitely, when you're trying to inspect what happened with a given transaction, it's currently the same interface that you use with near API.js, which is quite cumbersome. So we would like to wrap the result that you get from a transaction to make it easier to parse it and find out what the logs were and find out if it was successful and what the result returned was, all that sort of stuff. Today, it requires a lot of goofy boilerplate in order to do any of that.
Cool. Willem, did you want to add anything to that? That was a great summary.
Yeah, no, I would also just add that through doing the link drop example, we realized that the sandbox itself was missing a link drop contract. So testnet at the account testnet and mainnet at the account near both have link drop contracts that users can use to create sub accounts from that. And so, yeah, we also added to with a runner, before you deploy, before your test run or your create function runs, new account sandbox is added with the link drop contract that's on testnet.
Great. So this makes it act a lot more like the testnet or mainnet networks.
Exactly. So eventually we'll move that into like the near core itself, because it should have that set by default. So yeah, there's some other core contracts too that should probably be added that people could expect to have without having to add it manually.
Great. Thanks, y'all. Okay, what else is in sandbox testing? The new transaction builder.
Yeah, so if you go to one of the test examples that the fungible token that Austin did, he makes good use of it. It just lets you, let's see, where is it? Lets you, like, from the account class, you can create a new transaction and then just tag on different actions you want to do and then fire it off. So probably just want to search like transaction.
Okay.
Yeah. So you say root creates a transaction to the fungible token contract and then tags on 2 function calls and then calls sign and send. And sign and send now is, well, you can also pass it a key that you can use to sign just this transaction.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. And then updated the README regarding Sandbox. So this is like really nice looking. If you're seeing this video and see the link in the description, go ahead and check that out. On the Rust side, I'm not sure if you want to say a couple of words, and it's fine if you don't want to, Fong, but I wanted to, this was actually done not technically last week, but I didn't really cover this. And so I wanted to make sure that we showed the Sandbox API, and here I have the Sandbox runner branch up. Did you want to say a couple words?
Sure. So this is just gonna host like all of the Sandbox RPC helper functions for now, but might be moved to runner RS in the future too. So might be short-lived, but yeah, like these are just gonna be temporary and just like very hackish in a sense. So like not too refined in their interface.
Yeah, that's
And,
great. We're
yeah.
we're just dashing toward the same goal, and I love that. Just like been a ton of progress. And then the initial release of Near API RS. Okay, cool. And then there's a few things in progress because yeah, there's quite a bit going on, especially with the hackathon coming up, which we'll get to. So the Rust SDK, which is what you use for building smart contracts, the 4.0 major release is coming along nicely. And I've linked to the stabilization tracker. And from some messages I received yesterday talking to you, Austin, it sounded like it's getting pretty close. Looks like we're getting some final touches and saying, hey, this might as well get moved in if we're doing a major release. Did you want to say a couple words on how that's looking?
Yeah, it's pretty much done on our side. The only thing that's waiting is if we're changing up how the external contract calls happen to charge gas for ones that you don't want to specify at the end of the method call. So that's the only thing that's blocking it, and that's still kind of in discussion whether or not it's happening. So all like the API changes should be done unless that gets decided that is the way we want to move in the future. But yeah, still not even certain that's going to end up in the 4.0. So
Okay.
the pre-release 2 I'm going to make that release right after this call. So yeah, it should have all the API changes for the stable release.
Beautiful, love it. And then moving along, that we are focusing on the Rust SDK docs, although this site that I will pull up right now is for SDK docs. So, certainly this could also be for the assembly script docs. Right now, this is getting all fleshed out. There's a bunch of like great info here. We are sort of like dashing forward to get this completed before the hackathon, which I'll mention, but this is a great resource and I'm really looking forward to releasing this. The hackathon preparation. Okay, so we've been working on a zero to hero onboarding kind of guide to Near. It touches on a lot of concepts. I feel like sometimes we don't do the best job of explaining all the different things that you should know about access keys and accounts and how they're different. So been working with our team and DevRel to kind of create something like this. And as a little sneak peek, this is basically a crossword puzzle. This is almost similar to, if you think of like Coinbase Earn, where you get paid to learn about a blockchain, except for this is all on the blockchain, like paid by the blockchain. You learn about the blockchain. So if someone like completes this crossword puzzle and they're the first to do it, then it will confirm that they are the first and show you this screen saying, great, you won, and you can claim your prize. So this will be something that we're also charging forward to do before the hackathon. And in some kind of fun alpha news, just yesterday, got a hefty amount of Near from the Near Foundation so that we can start doling out prizes to people and make this live on mainnet and actually, have people learn about Near and get paid. So that's something kind of fun to look forward to. Not quite released yet, but that's why it's in the in progress column here. And this hackathon I've been talking about, very exciting, August 27th. That's when it starts. Check out this beautiful MetaBiddle site here. There's going to be $1 million in prizes and funding. So this is very much an effort that Dev Platform and DevRel are working towards. And it's pretty exciting. There's a lot of great ideas. We've been having some really good meetings with DevRel, and there's going to be updated content on the hackathon starter guides and all of this. So make sure that you check that out. And great, I see that there's another section here that was added for Runner.js. Someone want to touch on these points?
Yeah, just that the next things coming up are the ability to cache testnet accounts so that we won't be spamming the account creator and we can clean up the tests afterward, saving testnet a lot of data. And this transaction result was already touched on by Chad. This will definitely help. That was Austin's biggest feedback to us, that that was the main pain point. And then yeah, the ability to spoon state from testnet and mainnet into Sandbox will allow you to then interact with contracts that were on mainnet or testnet, and play around with them in a local environment.
Great, thanks. And I never heard this term spooning until a couple months ago, and that's basically like, I want to try to get the exact state on testnet or mainnet and kind of bring it down locally and like hammer it. And so that's what spooning means, in case you haven't heard that term before.
Yeah, and it's still a little bit like on the back end part, it's a little tough, because like for bigger contracts that have a lot of state, it's you have to like request little by little. So there's not like a decentralized way of like IPFS to say like, I want the state, and then people share it with you. So yeah, there's still some pain points there, but for for simple stuff, it should be pretty straightforward.
Cool, thank you. And one kind of funny thing I'll note to kind of end on here is, I know a few of us jumped into like little hackett sessions on Fridays to work on the crossword puzzle, and I wasn't sure how far along we were, and so I started building out the React side of it, and was expecting to do a bunch of work on the contract, and it all like worked. So like it was like basically done. Like I added a teeny bit of stuff, but the code that we all wrote together like pushed it across the finish line. So that was like really sort of a fun surprise for me. So well done, team. That's awesome. Okay, cool. Are there final words before we wrap this up? Great. Well, thanks a lot, and look forward to a bunch of really awesome things being released fairly soon. Thanks, y'all.
Very good.